so today I'm going to teach you how to cook a steak. So what you want to do is get your steak out of the fridge and let it sit out. I've had mine out for about like 15 minutes now. You can leave it like up to an hour. You want to get it kind of closer to room temperature. Basically, because what that does is when it's the same temperature all over, it's going to cook more evenly, and then you'll get a better cook all the way throughout the whole piece of meat. Okay, next thing you want to do is turn your gas or your stove on high, because we want to get the pan super hot. So I just got mine turned on. I like cast iron particularly, just like the way it cooks, but the way you can tell it's ready is if there's like little wisps of smoke coming off of it, then you know it's like ready to go. So while we're getting that hot, then we want to season our steak. And I'm using the blend salt, pepper, and garlic. I personally recommend just bare minimum seasoning. Butter, salt, pepper, garlic. If you have like fresh rosemary, fresh thyme, that can be really good too. But we really want to like taste the flavor of the steak and not have it be super overpowering. But if you do want to do a marinade, you know, you can do that just before, you know, while it's getting up to room temperature, and let that sit. I like to have a generous heaping of spices, and then I like to pat them in like that so they're into the meat. And then we want to get both sides. One second. Okay, so now our steak is seasoned on both sides. Looking good, looking good. So we're gonna get some butter and add it to the pan. Okay, so you can tell that it's ready, because I don't know if you can see in the video, but there's little things of smoke coming off, so that's perfect. The reason why we want it to be super hot is because we want a nice crust on the steak. So basically we're gonna get the pan super hot and then let it sit. And this piece of steak is like, I don't know, an inch or so thick. So I'm gonna let it sit for probably about 4 minutes on the first side and then flip it. All right, I got my butter in my pan. It's nice and hot. And now we're going to add the meat and let that sit for about 4 minutes. Yep, looking good, looking good, looking good. And then while it's cooking, I like to kind of get the butter underneath both sides. So I'll oftentimes kind of tilt the pan back and forth and make sure that the butter is coating the whole underside of the steak. Okay, so now it's just about time to flip it. I'm gonna add more butter to the pan. Let that start to melt. And then I'm gonna flip my steak, and I'm going to be spooning butter over the top of it so it stays nice and moist. So for that, you're going to need a little spoon, and if you're using cast iron, definitely something to hold the pan because it'll be hot. And what I do is tilt the pan down so the butter all comes to the end, and then start spooning that butter over top of the steak. And then I set a timer for about 2 minutes on this side. I typically just go based on the firmness of it more so than an exact timer, because I like my steak to be more on the medium rare to rare side, but I don't want it to be too overdone. I also turn the heat down to like a medium at this point, and sometimes there's like an edge that wants to stick out, so I just gently make sure all the sides are getting cooked all the way. Okay, and she's ready. So I like I said, I like my steak to be a little bit more medium rare to rare, so like you can feel it's still got some squish in the middle, but it's definitely thick. I don't know the best adjective for it, but you can kind of just tell. I'm sure I could probably use a meat thermometer, but I don't. I just do it based off of my own intuition and my own judgment. But anyways, I'm going to pull this bad boy off, and I'm going to put it back on my cutting board. I'm going to cover it in foil so it can rest, because we want all the juices to go to the middle of the steak so that when you cut into it, it stays nice and juicy. Steak is foiled, and I'm going to let this sit for about 5 minutes or so. And while I do that, I'm gonna prepare my sides, and then everything should be ready at the same time. All right, I am gonna do the cut test and make sure it's perfect. Here we go. I think so. So yeah, there you have it. That's how you make the perfect steak, and I hope you enjoyed. Okay, love you, bye. And one more time, just for good measure. Yeah, you can see perfectly pink and with a nice crust on the outside, and I think it's gonna be amazing. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. Bye.